Good morning, everyone. I'm very glad to talk to you again. I hope you are safe in your houses. So, are you ready to start? Today I'm going to talk about soap. Yes, soap. The famous product that we all have, and I'm going to go into the whole process to explain you how this product exists. But first, I have some questions for each one of you. Which soap format do you like? Which smell of soap is the one that you must have in your bathroom? Do you carry a soap with you when you go out? Let me start by telling you that soap is very essential in our daily lives, and of course, soap is not only for personal hygiene, but also to wash many objects. We have different types of soap that I'm going to discuss later in my presentation, and there is a big difference between soap and detergent. But for now, let me introduce you to how soap was created, how its composition is, and even more. So, let's begin. To begin with, in the Old Testament times, there were no true soaps, but products made only from the ashes of tree bark. The Egyptians already used a soapy product which consisted of a mixture of water, oil, and vegetal or animal waxes, and this formula was also used by the Greeks and the Romans. Back in the 13th century, the industry arrived in France, where most soap was produced from goat tallow, with beech ash providing from the alkali. It is there where a method of soap making was developed using olive oil instead of animal fats. And later on, in the 15th century, the Marseille soap appeared, which is the precursor of today's soaps, and this soap is prepared with a mixture of bones rich in potassium and vegetal fats. In the year 1500, this technique was adopted by England, where the soap industry reaches a high growth. Are you curious about the composition of soap? As I mentioned before, soap is made from the fats of different animals. It is the result of a chemical reaction between an alkali, which is sodium or potassium hydroxide, and some fatty acid, for example, lard or coconut oil, and the name of this reaction is called saponification. Later on, the soap obtained is left to set by adding common salt, sodium chloride, and finally is transferred to another container where perfumes, dyes, medicinal products, and others can be added. Then, when it's still hot, it is poured into molds. It's necessary to let it cool, and then you have to cut it into pieces. Traditionally, it is a solid material, although it is also common to see it in a liquid or powder form. There is, of course, a difference between the soap in the solid or liquid formats. From the chemical point of view, this difference is the liquid state of aggregation. Liquid soaps tend to be more hygienic than solid soaps because it's not required to touch the surface. There are lots of possibilities that dirt and germs get spread from the surface of a bar soap. Liquid soap may also remove moisture from skin and leave a dry skin after usage. However, these days, many of the liquid soaps contain moisturizing agents to tackle the dryness of the skin. Due to the higher pH value, bar soaps can dry out skin faster. Most solid soaps are made from the process of saponification that I mentioned before, but liquid soap is made from petroleum. Now, let's move on to another type of soap. The one that I'm going to talk now is very common, and you must use it a lot when you go out and you are in the need to wash your hands. Yes, soap in the format of alcohol gel. This type of soap is a sanitizer, and its composition was made to stop the spread of germs. Various tests have shown that the use of a sanitizing soap with a composition of about 65% alcohol kills 99% of the bacteria in our hands in less than a minute. You may ask yourself, it is really effective to use alcohol gel? Well, it's fully proven that alcohol rubbing kills many types of bacteria, including some that are resistant to common antibiotics. Nowadays, with the coronavirus, hand washing with alcohol gel is 100 times more effective than any other type of hand washing. Because there are different types of skin, each one needs different care. And in this case, when we wash our faces, soaps play an important role. For delicate skins, it's recommended the neutral pH soap because during its elaboration, no artificial aromas or colors are added and it is hypoallergenic. For oily skin, it's recommended the glycerin soap. It is a soap with a neutral pH and it maintains the level of acidity of the skin and avoids annoying blackheads or allergic problems. For sensitive or irritated skin, dermatological soaps are the most indicated in this case. They help to close the pores, relieving irritation, and they do not peel off the skin. I was very interested to know what's the difference between soap and detergent. Even though they can be synonyms, they are not. Soaps are potassium or sodium salts and a carboxylic acid that has a long aliphatic chain attached, while detergents are potassium or sodium salts with a linear alkylbenzene sulfonate. Soaps are made from natural ingredients such as coconut, palm or pine oil, or acids derived from animal fat, and the detergents are made from synthetic derivatives or surfactants. These ingredients present in detergents assist in cleaning by reducing surface tension and improving the ability of water to spread over it, and this effect creates a more uniform moisture and makes the dirt dissolve more easily. This is why detergents are often more effective than soaps for all types of dirt. Have you ever wondered if you can make soap yourself in your own home? Of course! What you need is a glycerin soap base, an aromatic essence, a liquid coloring, a silicone mold, and finally alcohol of 96 Celsius. The first thing you need to do is cut the base into pieces and then heat it with low heat, or you can heat it in a microwave. Just make sure it doesn't boil. Then you will need the liquid colorant of the color you like, and then you have to put a few drops of the aromatic essence of your favorite scent. You have to stir well and then put the mixture in the mold. Then spray the alcohol on the soap so that no bubbles remain, and wait for it to cool down to take it out of the mold. And that's it. Your soap is ready to use. Now, I will mention some facts that you should keep in mind if you want to make soap in your home. Although it is not a dangerous process, if you don't take the necessary care, it could be. The most important thing to keep in mind is the danger of caustic soda. This ingredient is dangerous, and it must be kept out of reach of children and animals. When it's mixed with water, it produces a bleach that, when it's in contact with the skin, it can produce chemical burns. We should protect ourselves while handling alkalis by wearing goggles to avoid splashing in our eyes and gloves to avoid contact with our hands. It is highly recommended to mix the water with the alkali in an open air place. A mask will also prevent us from breathing in the gases that emanate from the heat of the reaction. Well, that concludes my presentation. After so much research of the process of soap, I even want to make one in my home. I have learned even more about this process, and also why it's necessary to use it now more than ever. So please, don't forget to wash your hands well after touching something or doing something, and please do it in the right way. There is a lot of photos that explain you how to wash your hands properly. Remember that soap is more than a personal protection these days, and this only works if you wash your hands frequently. Also, washing our hands most of the day can cause your skin to become dry. So I recommend you to don't forget to moisturize it as well. I hope you liked my presentation and you have learned something about this awesome process of the soap making. If you have some questions, I will answer them now. And thank you so much for your attention. Stay safe.